Question 16. How can I make my website ADA compliant? It's going to be a big one to end on. There's a plugin for Chrome. It's called Wave, W-A-V-E. I'll put a link in the description as well, but start there. You put it in Chrome, you load up your website, and you click the button. It'll tell you like how many errors you have, how many question mark, like how many contrast errors and actual errors, and that's probably the best place to start. And then once you kind of have that, you can get a sense for like how bad the problem is. Like maybe you have like a lot of contrast errors and a lot of regular errors, and then you can talk to a developer and say, hey, look, here's my stats according to Wave. Can you help? And it's not super easy all the time to fix for ADA compliance. And by the way, by ADA I means Americans with Disabilities Act, and there's a lot of legal stuff going around right now about that. So people are very concerned about it. I would start there. Start with that simple report. You can also, there's like Accessibee and these other, they claim to do all-in-one accessibility stuff. I don't know how good they actually are. It's hard to get a straight answer out of people on the accessibility stuff. But this is my best assessment. I've written articles about accessibility. I've done accessibility work. I have talked to lots of accessibility pros, and there's a lot of accessibility pros who will give you bad information because their ass is on the line, because this is what they do for a living. And this is my opinion. I'm interpreting here, but like they'll say never use one of these. They call it a layover or something, but like never use Accessibee because they're not fixing anything, and who knows what issues they're creating. They actually say that it creates more issues, and maybe they're right. But I spoke with one of a person who's on the WordPress. He's really deep in the WordPress accessibility community, and actually leads one of the accessibility teams within WordPress. So. In fact, you can find an article on my website. I'll just say it. It's Joe Dolson, because he was quoted in this article on my website for this, and I'll post that below. But the gist of what he said, he's like, look, ideally you would fix all these issues like in the code, so they're fixed forever and you don't need to think about it. In lieu of that, these plugins like Accessibee they might help, is what he says. Like if you're doing nothing, maybe they help. And so I think that's probably the most fair advice, that if you can fix these issues, if you have the budget to fix them, because it's a one-time fix and it'll make everything better moving forward. If you can't, you can use Accessibee and it'll kind of like do it all kind of, and maybe it's going to be better, maybe not, but at least you're trying. And the other thing to do when you think of accessibility is to remove titles from images and add alt text to all your images. And WordPress has actually started to help by they'll make when you upload an image, it'll be like red and it'll say, hey, you should really add an alt tag here, an alt description. It's basically a description of the image. So let's say it was a picture of your daughter playing guitar, or let's say your daughter running through a field, jumping into the arms of her dad. You might say the alt text might be girl running in field, jumping into arms of man. It's like just general descriptions, so that somebody who can't see the image, and you can they can kind of understand what's going on in the image. The other thing you can do, wear a blindfold, turn on your accessibility feature on your computer. First, turn on the accessibility feature on your computer, wear a blindfold, and try to navigate your site. So basically you're doing it with your eyes closed. Hit the tab key, tab. It'll tell you what you're clicking on, and see if you can think to yourself, okay, I want to find the contact form in the footer, and see if you can find it with your eyes closed, basically. Or if you wanted to keep your eyes open, just keep hitting tab and see if you can get to all the stuff in the proper order. So long answer, that's a lot. ADA and accessibility is a big topic, and we should do a whole thing on accessibility probably, but hopefully that helps.